WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys, and now I have something new from Bushmills. Bushmills Irish Whiskey American Oak Cask Finish Bourbon Finish, yay! Now this runs at a price of under 20 euros over here, which is a steal, a bargain, and really, really cheap. And this is brand new 2021, I'm sorry, on the market over here. So Bushmills just put out the Caribbean Cask, which I liked, and now they have here their American Oak. So Cask Finish. Now I have a little bit of a problem. Maybe someone can help me. So it says on all the press releases, just everyone basically copied and pasted, which we do today, is that the Bushmills' long partnership and friendship with the legendary barrel makers at Kelvin Cooperage in Louisville, Kentucky, USA, was the inspiration for this cask finish. No problem. I knew who Kelvin are. I've actually visited their competitor in Lebanon, Kentucky. Now, double charring is a process applied on request to small quantities of barrels, which are then shipped by Kelvin Cooperage to the old Bushmills distillery. At Bushmills, aging in these double charred casks results in a deeper interaction between the single malt and the fresh wood to deliver the superior flavor experience achieved in this cask finished expression. What are doubled charred casks? I have a assumption, which makes an ass maybe out of you and me. My assumption is that Kelvin Cooperage actually buys back a lot of barrels from the bourbon industry. Bourbon can only be used once in a new, freshly charred cask. And as soon as it's been used once, it's no longer of use for the bourbon industry. So it goes from making tequila and craft beer and rum and Irish whiskey and single malt scotch and blended scotch and all the other things in the world that are so delicious, and garden furniture. And so what I think Kelvin Cooperage did is they took back some barrels and they recharred them. And then they put them on a boat, sent them on over to Ireland. I think that's what they're doing. So it's a double charred cask. Have I heard that expression somewhere before? Well, at least I think I have. Jameson Black Barrel. So what is Black Barrel? Black Barrel is, of course, an Irish whiskey from Jameson. And what they did is they took barrels they had and they recharred them. And then they put whiskey in it to finish. Sounds almost the same, doesn't it? The only difference is here the recharring was done in Kentucky, and here the recharring was done in Ireland. My legend story was that actually there were some barrels out there in front of the distillery in Dublin, or wherever that was way back when. They're now in Middleton, and yeah, they'd become a little bit too no longer usable, and so there was like, hey, we got some stuff here, we don't have any barrels, let's recharge these barrels, put it in there, and then let's see what happens. And so I love the color. Now I'm not sure if that's natural color or not, much lighter, but hey, but I do like the color. And this is one of my favorite expressions from Jameson. Value for money, 30 euros, 29.90, here 19.90. Both of these, even though the bottle looks a little bit different, this is exactly a 0.7 liter. It has a cork. You're going to pay about €1 extra for that than the screw cap. And the bottle design is much prettier, I think. And I got a box with it as well, which I'm going to pay about €1 for that, more, maybe even €2 for that, for the bottle compared to the standard Bushmill bottle here. Now, I'm not complaining, but they're both at 40%, the legal minimum for whiskey, 39.5 or 35 or 40, whatever. So 40 would be okay, but 30, anything below 40 is no longer considered whiskey. That's the law. So on the nose, I get the typical Bushmills citrus moment, but on top of that I get a little bit of a woodiness, a nice oak spice moment I like. Over here, this cranks it up. I mean, this is like a 5 on the scale from 1 to 10. This is like an 8 on the wood scale. Oh, I get a nice caramelized wood sugars. I get a tiny little bit here of a creme brulee. Ah, nice. A little bit of orange zest as well. Very, very good. I like that Jameson a lot. It's actually one of my favorites. So this has a very hard time to keep up with this, but I think it's going to be okay. Now, especially if you think about the price, all right, 50% less. I have no idea what your price is going to be in your place, but I do think Bushmills are putting out whiskeys at a very competitive price. All right, so I try a lot of stuff here that costs triple digits and sometimes even more, and often, to be honest, this would taste better. So there's nothing wrong with a good Bushmills. I'm using a Glencairn. This is called a nosing glass. It has a tulip shaped, which concentrates the aroma for my nose and the enjoyment and for the pleasure. And this is just something I've gotten used to drinking from. It's what we and the whiskey community use for tastings. You notice I'm not just chugging it back. You can use a tumbler, you can use a milk glass, you can use whatever you want. You can put some ginger ale or some Coke or some ice in it, no problem. Drink your whiskey however and in whichever way you want. I drink my whiskey straight, neat. Some little bit of water maybe, but other than that, I'm not a person that uses ice or anything else, but that's just me, all right? So do what you want to, especially with a bottle like this. All right, cheers. Mmm, that's actually good. Also, Helen Mulholland, she is the master blender at Bushmills. She is doing a stellar, fantastic job. Helen, if I ever have the chance to meet you, I'm just going to actually sing your praises. And it's just not the Causeway collection, just almost anything you touch at the moment is turning into something that's like gold. Well done here as well. Apparently, Kelvin Cooperage inspired you, but you did the implementation, and very nice. Could it have a little bit more oak? Yes. Do I like oaky whiskeys? Yes. Does everyone like oaky whiskeys? No. And so this might be exactly at that sweet spot, and there is still a lot of sweetness in there, and it's very, very, very nice. This is actually for me a B minus whiskey. All right, so great taste, mouth texture. It's got a lot. It would beat, even in the taste, a lot of the higher priced whiskeys I've ever had. It may just prove that my whiskey palate, my tasting palate here, is low class, but who knows? Very, very nice. Now, to go over here, this is actually something I like a little bit more. I just love the heavy cask influence here. The oak, that creme brulee, that caramelized wood sugar moment. Mm. I was hoping that this would taste a little bit more like this because I really like it. There's more of a sweetness here. There's much more of a wood factor. There's a little bit of that orange moment, that orange peel, that orange zest going on in here. This is the winner. This is actually for me a B. This is a B minus. Now, for the value for money, I'm going to give this an A. 19 euros and 50 cents, at least over here. I'm sure in the States it's going to be about $20 or whatever, who knows. This is fantastic. This is great whiskey. This is something you can share. This is something you can mix with. This is something you can drink neat. This is something put on ice, and it's just got it. Is it a blended whiskey? Yes, there is maybe about, I don't know, 25%, 20% single malt in there, and the rest of it's going to be grain. Grain is made on a continuous still, more of an industrial type of plant. Much cheaper to produce, not necessarily barley, but rather a wheat or a corn that is distilled way over 90%. Single malt, even when it's double distilled and up to triple distilled, it doesn't go above 80 some percent, and they have to use 100% malted barley, which is much more expensive and a much more flavorsome grain. And so they mix and blend the two together and create this wonderful product. Both of these on most of the Irish whiskies you have probably ever had have just said on that Irish whiskey, unless it says single malt Irish whiskey, expected to be a blend. Not bad, just need to know. All right, thank you very much. So this is an excellent, excellent whiskey for the value for money, an A, and as a price, it's actually a B minus. Wow. So WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany tasting. In this case, inexpensive Irish whiskeys that I can highly recommend. And I would ask you to please, if at all possible, share this video, tell other people, look out for the American Oak Cask Finish, Bourbon Finish here from Bushmills. It just arrived on our market over here in Europe weeks ago, and I think it will be reaching the shores of other continents, America, Australia, and so on, very, very, very soon. All the best. Thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and tell others. Bye-bye.